Hello friends, I'm the dork in the road sitting on my Honda Transalp 750. This is the Mackenzie Pass, Santa Ana Pass Scenic Byway, one of the most scenic, twistiest roads in the entire state of Oregon, and it's only open for a few months out of the year, so it's going to close in a few weeks. This is my first real road test, the Transalp 750 here. I've ridden 100 miles to get up here, so obviously I've gotten a feel for it, but these twisties will give us a real good sense of what it's like to throw this thing around on a spirited, fun street ride, and just the first of three things we're doing today on this bike. Make sure you check out the off-road test video, which is coming after this. We're going to hit part of the Oregon BDR, and I'm loaded up, fully loaded up. That's important for this video, for you to know I'm fully loaded with camping gear on the back of this, because I'm going moto camping tonight, so that video's coming too. But let's get into it. Let's hit some twisties, and it's unbelievably gorgeous once you get on top. Not that it's ugly now, because look at the beautiful fall foliage, but we are headed up to the Dee Wright Observatory, which is like one of the most interesting and unique structures I've ever seen. Basically a giant castle made out of lava rock on top of this mountain. Let's go, Transalp. So we're in sport mode. This thing, I've been on a very spirited ride thus far today. Probably past, well, let's say everyone that I've come across. So this thing has plenty of power, plenty of speed. It's a very fun bike to ride, but it's not super heavy, not difficult to control. It just really has it where you want it. I've mentioned before that it's revier than I'm used to. You really got to stay up in the power band. It doesn't have that low end torque. So unlike the Tenere, where you can just sort of give it gas wherever you are in the rev range, there's a friend. Ooh, KLR. This thing, you got to kind of manage where it is, but that's a lot easier because it has a quick shifter. So you can be going through a corner and give it gas and be like, oh, well, I'm not getting the acceleration I want. And you can just click down without even letting off the gas. It'll do the job for you. I'm being kind of careful with that stuff just because it's still in break-in. I know somebody's going to chime in. Break-in's a myth. Maybe, but I do what the manufacturer says to a degree. I basically just try to take it easy. But you do you, buddy. I don't want to change the oil every 100 miles, so I don't go super crazy in the first few 100 miles. There's some acoustic motorcycles. Hello, acoustic motorcycle friends. No camp trailers. Yeah, there's the gate. So they close this in the winter, and it doesn't usually open until the end of June. So once it starts snowing up on top, they're going to close this again. Really any day now, but within the next month for sure. Oh, there's another one. This thing handles remarkably well. Admittedly, these are those Metzler Carews. They're the more off-roady of the two tires you can get for this, but they're very smooth and round. So they're much better street tires than they are off-road tires. In fact, they're the Metzler Carew Streets. It literally says that on them. So, ooh, that was a little slippage. Like I said, it's a little wet. I did at least get them scrubbed in on the way up here, I assume. 130 miles now, so. But if you want to get out and have fun, carving up twisties and riding faster than you probably should, this 750 has plenty of power. It doesn't have like the I want to ride like an animal power like my Norden had. So it actually has a super manageable type of amount of power. I mean, if you're in the wrong gear and you give it a bunch of gas, the front end's going to come up, but it's really useful for like passing, and it's geared kind of high. I was in 4th and 5th most of the way up the pass. Only really got into 6th when I was just like cruising on a long straightaway. There is a definite difference between sport mode and standard mode. I discovered that earlier just from, so I was in standard until I got to town, and then when I got on the mountain pass, when I hit the highway outside of town, I switched into sport and had the throttle not all the way closed, and woo, I could feel the difference. So, you know, that extra point of power on the scale there, you've got 4, is significant. But she'll carve it up, fully loaded with a very overweight rider. I did crank the preload down a little. It comes with a tool to do that, and it's actually quite easy to get to, which is not the norm in my experience, depending on the bike. In terms of what the average rider wants to do on twisties on the road, you're gonna have a great time on this bike. The other question I keep getting a lot is comfort. Is it comfortable? And I don't have like hours and hours and hours on it yet, so grain of salt and all that, but I just did 100 miles straight. And my ass feels fine. It doesn't feel bad at all. It's nice and wide, or it's wide enough. It's a good width, I should say. Heard that before. And so I don't feel like I'm getting pressure points or anything weird, but who knows as the foam breaks in what it'll be like. Some Honda stock seats are great, in my opinion. Like the one, the 500X I really liked. I thought I liked my Africa twin seat for a while until I spent like 4 hours on it one day and then realized I didn't. So that's why I'm holding off on judging this one. Seating position, very comfortable. I like where the bars are. I don't even think I need risers on this. I think I'm okay with standing up on it in stock form, and it's still comfortable when I sit. Someone asked me about vibration. I don't feel like it's any worse than anything else I've ridden, and I've been doing more than the speed limit a lot on the way up here, so I haven't noticed it. Not like on like the KLR or the 450L you really notice it, but this one not so much. Not yet. Again, we're talking 2 hours or whatever. My gas mileage has been around 40 the whole way up. Is that because it's fully loaded and I'm heavy and I've been really heavy on the throttle, or is that just what it gets? I would expect better, but not like a lot better. I would expect around 50, maybe cruising down the freeway. Whoa. I think my first impressions, I said this thing wasn't very flickable. I don't think that's right. It felt like it wasn't turning in quickly, but it just definitely flicked back and forth very easily right there again. So maybe I'm an idiot. I don't know. Yeah, I've never done this up. I've only ever done it down. It's more fun up because you don't have to be heavy on the brake. Coming down, it's like, do I really want to go this fast? A lot less margin for error. Whoa! Holy crap, that's tight. I mean, I'm not surprised by any of this. It's not a sport bike by any means, but it's definitely fun to ride. It's a more streetier bike than other adventure bikes. It's an adventure tourer, I think, in the truest sense, in that it's an adventure bike and a touring bike, because it has a lot of caveats, a lot of functions that are really designed for street comfort at the expense of some off-road functionality. And I think that's the biggest thing that I'm figuring out about this bike, and I'll talk about it more at length in future videos, but it is not what we thought it was going to be. It's not what I personally hoped it was going to be. It's something else, and I think I was wrong. I think what Honda's done makes a lot of sense, but it's not going to beat the Tenere in an off-road competition. That they never intended it to. That's not what it's for. But it'll do 80% as well, and it's a far better street bike, which is, if you're being honest with yourself, what the vast majority of people who buy and ride these bikes need. They don't need the most hardcore stump jumper on earth. They don't need to be able to take on hard enduro single track trails. They just need to be able to do some reasonably gnarly abandoned gravel roads, BDR type stuff, and have a bike that is fun to ride on the road on the way there and comfortable. And this bike on the street blows the Tenere out of the water. It's not even a spoiler alert, it's just obvious. But riding it, I would much rather do a long road trip on this bike than on the Tenere for about 35 reasons. We haven't done a true off-road test. I've only been off a little bit, but we're going to today. We're going to hit part of the BDR, so make sure you check out that video. It's going to be a separate one. Oh, it's getting hot now that we're in the sun. That made an instant difference. Instant difference. Yeah! Man, this road is fun. It's so fun. I don't know why I don't ride this more often. It's not that far from my house. Up on top in the burn. Sad. The mountains are going to come out though any second now. So here's the lava flow. One of the reasons why this is such a scenic route, as you end up right along this ancient lava flow. It's Belknap crater off to the left. You can't really see it, but the observatory up here is so cool because you can see all the local mountain peaks, and you can go into the observatory and there's like little holes that show you which is which. Okay, here we go. Up on top. Those three sisters are right over here. Look at that. I'm gonna stop and get a picture of that. Not a bad looking bike either. Alright, let's go to the observatory before any of the people I passed catch up. Just wait until you see it. It's right up here. It's freaking weird. Hell of a place to stargaze, I bet. Oh, okay. I see a bathroom. Here it is. That's the castle. This is the observatory. It's pretty crazy weird. Look at that's it. It's a castle. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. It's a castle. That's not a castle. I'm not a fat dude on a motorcycle. We're here at the observatory. You can see it there behind me. And it's just, like I said, a giant castle made out of lava rock.
So this dial thing is cool because it shows all the mountains and the directions, and like these two, the sisters, if you look, point directly at them.
So what a cool and unique, amazing place to be. One of Oregon's most unique attractions, I'm guessing. It's the kind of thing that even if you've lived here your whole life, you may not know is here. Head on up to the Mackenzie Highway, Old Mackenzie Highway, and take a look at the Dee Wright Observatory. About 20 miles to Sisters, so a little bit more fun riding, and then lunchtime, baby, lunchtime. Final thoughts, or at least final-ish thoughts for this portion of today's ride, because after Sisters we're going to be hitting the off-road section. It's a very capable, very fun street bike. It's fun to ride on the street. It's a fun bike. Like, none of that is shocking. Honda knew what they were doing, and I think a lot of us didn't. We, or at least I for sure, but a lot of the people in my comments too, thought of this bike in a different way than it actually is. Here's another corner that you couldn't bring a semi through. This is like cut through this lava field. Damn. It's biased towards the street, but still an adventure bike. It's a faster, more capable, more comfortable, better on the street and off-road version of the 500X. But I don't even like the 500X comparisons because I don't feel like they're in the same class. This thing is a whole nother level with all the electronics and everything else it comes with. 500X is a very basic bike. This one is less basic. Enjoyed this street ride, this twisty test, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of my ride today. But I don't think I need to belabor this particular point, so we're going to move on to the off-road portion here very soon. So if you have any questions about on-road performance or thoughts or feelings, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I know that you will. And if you haven't yet, and you're interested in more Transalp content or just more adventure, dual sport, motorcycling, moto camping content, including the off-road test and the moto camping video I'm making right after this today, consider subscribing to the channel because I'm the dork in the road and I want to be your internet riding buddy, and I'm better than your regular riding buddies because I come with a mute button. Thank you for watching, and please do not forget to be excellent to each other. Oh, thank you. Twisty, twisty.
Excellent!
There's also some cool lava out here, if you like lava. I personally lava it.